Guys, welcome back to the Appalachian Memories podcast. Today we're going to talk about names. Now, I know that anymore people pull out names and add Y's and X's and apostrophes to them and come up with creative spelling, Cr8tive, for names, but it's not new. This is stuff that I've been used to in the hills for years and years. My granny named one of her sons after her daddy, and her daddy's real name was Lafayette. But Southerners, everything has to be slurred and shortened. So I'm sure he was called Fett, and that was my uncle's name. And then we got names like Haston and Dewana, Glenwood, Odell, creative stuff. I don't know where all these names came from. Maybe she knew people by that name. I've met Greenbriers. I've met Barbies, spelled with an I, Barbi. So all these creative names that people are coming up with now, I'm not fazed by them because, it's nothing new under the sun. The one thing that Southerners and Appalachian folks do that makes me crazy is they will name daughters after their mother. So you got Bertha 1, Bertha 2, and then you'll have Bertha the third. And at some point, it's Big Bertha, Little Bertha, Mommy Bertha, whatever. So they have all these different names. And they will take, say, Maisie Williams marries John Phillips. Well, their first child's going to be named Williams Phillips because they love to take the maiden name of the mother and give it to the first child. And it doesn't matter if that first child's a boy or a girl. I've met Parker Jones. She was a girl. I've met Sloan Madden. Sloan was a boy. All these different things. You're just like, okay, so you know where your mommy's family came from. And then they get those names that get shortened. So Parker might be Par or Park. And then you'll have two or three people in the same family with the same name. Because like my mommy did, my mommy married my daddy and my mother's brother married my daddy's sister. So I have a double cousin, which according to what I hear is like genetics, makes you basically a brother and sister rather than cousins. The other thing we'll do is every female gets the same three middle names. You're either Lee, you're Kay, or you're Marie. Now they'll throw that in there even if they give you another middle name to honor a grandma or a rich relative. So, and I don't know how I avoided it. I actually didn't get a middle name. So I can pick any one of those three at any time if I want. Somebody says, "What's your middle name?" I can throw one of those out there and not have to worry about it, which is awesome. And people in the hills, they don't care if the name is popular. There's an Elton John song where he talks about he named his kid Jesus because he liked the name. That's kind of how they do it in hills. They'll hear an old name or find a name and go, "Oh, I kind of like that." And then they'll give it to their kid. So in 2023, you've got Edith in kindergarten because that's what they liked. That's the name that they decided sounded great. The other thing they do, and this is just like so confusing, you'll get juniors. Mommy will decide that son needs to have daddy's name. So you have John Jacob Jingleheimer Sr., then they give you John Jacob Jingleheimer Jr. And then Junior gets married and decides that he wants to give his first son his name too, because it's a family tradition by this point. The thing is, that kid never gets called anything but Trey. He will never know his name is John Jacob. He will be called Trey forever. And then Trey will name his son that because it's a family tradition. And you want to talk about a nightmare? That's a genealogical nightmare whenever you're trying to trace family trees. It's a credit nightmare because everybody ends up getting everybody else's stuff on their credit report, which doesn't matter to most people in the hills, but it can cause problems down the road. But all these people who come up with, Lakeisha and Lashana and Jax with two X's and all that stuff, that's nothing new. We've been seeing that for years and years. I know Levon and Yvonne, they're a brother and sister. I won't tell you which is which. I know a LaDonna, a Lawana, a Dowana, a Delana. I got cousins named Vicky. I got cousins named Berthy. I got a cousin named Fanny Irene. And that one was named by her older sister, and she was named after both her grannies. Like I said, they don't care if the names are popular at the time that they name them. Now, my cousin is absolutely awesome, but the names are just not something you hear every day. But all these people talking about names and stuff, nothing new under the sun. It's just the Appalachian way of doing things. Y'all have a great day, and thank you for listening.